New Florida laws are set to take effect July 1st, bringing several changes to the state's criminal justice system. The new laws address every.
In Florida, remember, it's a southern state. You got guys like that Grady Judd guy and everything. You have a lot of old boomers down there who are scared. Like, some of this is entertainment for boomers. They love to see some of this stuff too. They like, boomers love watching someone else go to jail. They like shit like that. And I'm not saying people don't go to jail. Like Florida has it, so they don't have places like Chicago and stuff where they seemingly these people get off from crime over and over and over and over again. Florida, the cops don't really play around like that.
Everything from domestic violence, artificial intelligence, to tougher restrictions on
They have an AI one that's actually pretty cool.
convicted sex offenders. NBC6 reporter Christian Colon breaks down what's changing.
July 1st will bring a wave of new laws in Florida, including tougher penalties for people convicted of domestic violence who go on to commit similar crimes again.
Now what we're going to see is individuals who have just one prior case are going to be dealing with felony sentences and felony exposures.
So the law is going to work the way that it really should, because we see these people get out, they abuse people and go back and back and back and back and back. So now it's like 2 strikes, you're out, which is pretty cool. Yeah, they don't screw around out there. So in a way, it's just a law functioning as it should.
And significant prison time.
The goal is to deter future violence, tragedies like the ones that have rocked South Florida, where entire families have been killed.
Totally preventable. A miscarriage of justice.
Another new criminal law signed by the governor is Missy's Law. It will require people convicted of certain violent.
And I don't really mind Ron DeSantis. He seems like he runs. I don't go to Florida, spend a lot of time, but he did pretty good during COVID. Stopped a lot of woke bullshit. He had a really good attorney general or surgeon general, excuse me, who said a lot of the vax isn't good. Don't take it. Or at least didn't like just go along with the story, stuff like that. So I don't know if Florida, you don't have to pay tax like New Hampshire, like income tax and stuff. I'm not sure if it's like that or not. The America splits. Texas Federation will include from Florida to Arizona. Liberals here have no chance because we are similar in mentality. Yeah, I haven't really been to a lot of those places. I've been to Florida, but I do know the South in general is a bit more religious than the North, and the religious people tend to want higher punishments for stuff. They're a little more biblical with the way they want it. Yeah, Southern Arizona, Royal, yeah. Yeah.
Crimes.
Because if you don't, you have to be hard on crime, because there's a saying, like, if someone commits a crime once and they have no punishment, they will do it again. It's just kind of human nature.
To be taken into,
like, they don't want it to turn into something like San Francisco, so that already is in pretty decent control, but they need to go harder, because we see how crazy the people in Florida can be, but generally they always had prior convictions. Always. So now they're not going to play around.
The custody immediately after a guilty verdict or plea, eliminating the possibility of remaining free on bond while awaiting sentencing. The law passed after 5-year-old Missy Mogul was allegedly killed by her stepfather, who had been convicted of a sex crime but was released.
Jesus, this guy did look like a demon.
On bond before he was sentenced.
It forces the judge in serious cases to remand the person, to take the person into custody, even though their case is pending sentencing or pending the appeal.
A new law will also restrict child sexual predators and offenders from living near public swimming pools, including those that are.
That's a good thing. I don't mind that.
apartment complexes,
And it's like, why don't they already have that in there? Is another thing. What's going on with that?
and government facilities.
To stay away
Like, that's where you think they have to stay away from.
from churches, schools, parks. Seems like common sense given that we live in South Florida and it's about 900 degrees outside right now. There's going to be a lot of children at public swimming pools. It just makes sense that that restriction be added to the sex offender preclusions.
And as artificial intelligence continues to evolve, a new law will also go after those caught with AI-generated child porn.
It creates
This is a really good law. This is a really good law because I've been kind of thinking for a while. Because I heard there was a teacher, a male teacher, who basically was making like videos of his students, banging each other and stuff like that. And he was like a third grade teacher or something like that. But the AI can definitely do that type of stuff. That's why sometimes I complain about AI, because you can do it. It's gonna go more towards degeneracy, way easier. It just will. It can go towards good things, but it's really gonna go towards some dark stuff.
a penalty for anyone who knew or reasonably should have known that they were transmitting AI generated sexual abuse material, and it makes it a second-degree felony.
Christian Colon, NBC6 News.
New at 6, Florida now has a new law regulating large-scale data centers.
So the
Check this out too, just really quick.
law has consumer protections, and it empowers local governments to reject data center developments in their communities.
But as West Shoes
Nice.
Justin Shecker found out, some Republicans and Democrats in the state say it does
Guys, we don't need data centers. Just give it a little more time. And we're gonna have, better chips and stuff like that. In the 70s, a computer took up an entire room. Now you have like 50 of those computers in your pocket. So the same thing will happen with data centers and stuff like that. Yeah, I heard it's a little bit more cowboy shit there.
not go far enough.
What we don't want to do is be subsidizing or put a thumb on the scale for technologies that are going to supplant the human experience.
There's agreement across party lines in Florida.
I think that there is no law that can go strong enough against data centers.
The new data center law signed by Governor Ron DeSantis that went into effect Wednesday.
So Ron DeSantis is not a bad candidate for president. I think he was trying to run before. I could see it. They're really going to try to install Vance in there. But Ron DeSantis seems a little more practical. But to be honest, he's probably better off just shutting up and just taking care of Florida and just saying, hey, that's all I'm going to do.
Isn't perfect.
Ultimately, this was about having no data center regulations or at least some protections for consumers.
Under this new law, big tech companies have to foot the bill for these centers. They're the engines of the AI boom.
Yeah, they should have had to foot the bill the entire time.
Ratepayers and
so basically all they're doing is saying you can't just go and like pay off some commissioner. You can't pay off the local commissioner or zoning board people with like $4,500 and shit like that we've seen before. From the top down, they will not allow it.
consumers like you and me will not have to front the cost of any of these data centers, which have
Maine, I think, is trying to do this as well.
Really impacted energy bills for consumers in other states.
Orange County Democrat Carlos Guillermo Smith voted yes, along with 31 other state senators, after, in his opinion, the Florida House weakened the bill. He says lawmakers in future sessions need to address transparency around the proliferation of data centers.
Earlier versions of this bill would have prohibited local governments from signing
Notice it's like a Republican state that's getting on top of this, too.
disclosure agreements with data center companies, which was a transparency measure that really would have helped communities have access to information.
Right here in Eatonville and West 2's backyard, residents have been raising concerns about how this expanding data center will impact their community's power, water, and noise levels. This one, developed and operated by Host Time, isn't for art.
So if this is drawing off the local power grid, you're going to end up like France, where only like 25% of them can have AC in general and or afford it, because this has to take the most of the power. It's just going to be gobbling it up, and it's going to take a lot of water and whatnot too.
Artificial
And this has no, like, this looks like a building. This is not like a building full of, like, you know, people doing office work and shit. There's probably about like 6 people that have kind of a fake job, just sitting there monitoring some shit and like cleaning some filters out and stuff. Like, that's about it. Yeah, farms, not data centers. Yeah.
intelligence, but rather it supports data storage and server.
I did a OGT. There'll be some videos I put it as like members first, but they'll be coming out where I was talking a lot about farming, soil, minerals, how they affect your body, what does what. So I actually made like a course today, 5 sections. So it was basically the live that I did last night that I edited like nicer. But it's in chunks that are easier to understand. So you know, become a member if you want. If not, just wait and they'll come out.
In Lake County, commissioners there have already moved to create a 1-year moratorium while more research.
Yeah, see, the commissioners are who fuck up everything. Commissioners are corruption.
Research is done on how data centers could impact electricity and water usage.
We have beautiful rural areas, and then we have these awesome small downtowns. We don't have a huge industrial corridor.
This week, the state's Republican CFO Blaise Ingoglia explained why he believes data centers don't belong in the Sunshine State.
They want our tax dollars, they want our energy, they want our water, then they want our labor to go and build the data center on short term. Also, they can create AI to take all of our jobs. I don't get it.
Justin